Round one, fight!
What's going on, BW Sports One World? It is your boy DaLion. That's right, we are here with Combat Zone, putting them knuckles on your face. Rockstar Realty, thank you, sir. 317-503-8322. Buying or selling a home? Talk to Shawn and talk to Tucker today. Also, our good friends over at Driving for Dyslexia, 317-643-1105. It's to help research and resources for teachers and students with dyslexia. So great charity there. Elite Performance, if you want to get this elite looking body, call Elite Performance today, 765-499-1005. And Aries Academy, Aries Sports Vision Training. I'm telling you guys, if you've never heard of Sports Vision Training, this is the way to move, duck and move from all those punches thrown at you. I'm telling you, check them out, www.aries-academy.com. Now, today is a wonderful day for me. I'm being a small portion of a fanboy because I am being graced by the presence of 4.0. That is right. Britton, Hart, what is going on, dear?
Hey, DaLion, how are you?
I am so happy and so happy to have you back on here over at Combat Zone because we had a big fight happen just 1 week ago, and congratulations.
Gosh, it really is crazy to think it's been 1 week. So
Right.
Time is flying by when you're having fun, I tell you what. But man, training camp and talking to you prior and then being here a week later, it's definitely a feeling and an experience.
Yes, I bet it is. So let's talk about, the whole weekend kind of. Let's start off by the press conference. The press conference wasn't too bad, but then we moved into weigh-in day and everybody saw what happened at the weigh-in. So we definitely want to hear your first person opinion on weigh-in day.
Yeah, so the press conference, like you said, it was a press conference, but it was kind of like a few things that rubbed me wrong in the press conference. So I think it kind of like went over into weigh-ins, and I'm saying that, hey, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to rise, and I wanted to kind of be more um have a visual message with that. So at weigh-ins, I was thinking I'm just going to go right up and be right in her face. This is my sport, this is my ring, and I'm going to make you uncomfortable as possible. So when I walked up on her, that was my thought process. I was not expecting her to put her hand around my throat. That was crazy. I feel like it's pretty normal for someone to I see weigh-in pictures all the time where people are like this in each other's face. So what I did, I don't think was really uncalled for or disrespectful. I think that it was just my message, that I'm going to make you uncomfortable in this ring and in this sport. And I think she took it, the past the line with putting her hands on my neck. As you can see, it wasn't like, it really triggered, and that's the fighter in me and the scrappiness and the tenacity that you always see from Britain. But I definitely kind of lost it for a minute. I feel really bad because I try to be a really good role model to kids, and I know I probably dropped a ton of F-bombs, but that's how if I'm mad, that's the first thing. If I start dropping F-bombs, know that I'm mean serious business. So I kind of, lashed out on her, and I could tell right then and there, though, she was like, oh no, like, I awoken a beast. Like, it's like you don't poke the lion when it's sleeping kind of thing. So I think that she really did that, where she poked and tried to ruffle my feathers. It backfired on her because she doesn't know my personality. And basically her not doing her research and knowing how tenacious I am. That's the last thing you want to do is piss off a scrappy, aggressive fighter, because they're going to be going crazy on you.
Very true, very true. And that kind of led into to fight day. So you're sitting back in the back, you arrive at the arena, you're getting your hands ready, you're getting the mindset ready, you're doing the pre-fight workouts, you're talking to your daughter on FaceTime, or however you did. What's going through your mind there? I mean, this is obviously, it's just another day in the office for you. But obviously, there was a little additional hype towards this one. So, kind of, what was the difference in every other fight compared to this one pre-fight?
The difference was I had people behind me from all over that had my back 100%. Like, I really knew they had no doubt in their mind. And so having that support and going through the fight was something that was different. Because, I have been on a main event before. I've been in featured fights. I've fought for belts. So the pressure, I've been through it, and I think that experience did help me, because I was really relaxed for the fight. When you saw me in the locker room warming up, I was just really, honestly, I really followed the advice of a lot of other people and just, took that moment in. I soaked it in. I wasn't fearful about anything. I believed in myself. I believed in the team. I believed in the people around me. And so with that, I was just really, honestly, stress-free. I wasn't stressed out at all. It was, like you said, another day at work. And I kept telling myself that, like, Britton, you asked for this. This is something you asked for. You wanted. Don't you dare get scared and don't you dare let nerves ruin something you asked for. So that's what, I was in a very great mood, and all the people around me got my mind right, and my daughter, and, just everybody. Chapman got me this artwork that he made for me and brought that up to me himself. Like, those little things were like monumental to me being so stress-free. And then I think it was just right at the very end. I kind of had like a little personal moment in the locker room, and my team, they're like, give her like 10 minutes to be by herself. They gave me that 10 minutes, and that was just, I took that was the only 10 minutes of any bit of the fight where I was like, if you had any doubt right now, if you had any like self-disbelief or self-doubt, you better get rid of it right now and right in this place before you go out and step in that ring. And that's what I did. So when I got into the ring, I really just had that feeling. I already knew I was going to win, and the fight hadn't even started. It was that powerful of a feeling.
Well, like I said, prior to us coming on, you could tell after, as being in the fight scene for a while, you can kind of tell people's reaction to certain things. And I told you before, the show started, I could tell how determined you were when I saw you walk out towards the ring. Your eyes had nothing but determination and fire in them. You were ready, and that leads us right into the fight. Now, granted, we did say kind of that, looking at Paige walking out, it just kind of looked a little, okay, this is my first time type feeling. Obviously she's been in the UFC and other organizations. So the limelight, I don't think, was the problem. I think it was these right here that was an issue in her mind, and knowing that she's going to get hit by a bare knuckle from a fantastic number one contender / future title holder in bare knuckle fighting championship. So when she got hit, it's like, oh, it, woke her the hell up, I guess.
Yes.
So kind of explain the ring. You and Paige are in the ring. The ref's there. You're getting ready to go. What is your last thought before that bell rung on that first round?
Be first. That's what I kept thinking. I kept telling myself, like, I was like psyching myself up, because I really wanted to start strong off the start, like the first bell, like, kind of do it like Yuli did, where he got his 2-second, 3-second knockout. So I was really kind of thinking like that. I was just running that image back in my head, and I was just like, be first, be first. That's really honestly all I could think of. And it was really important to me, because at weigh-ins, there was a little complication back and forth about who touched who first. And I said, tomorrow I will touch you first. So I really wanted to make sure that I lived up to that and, wasn't anything that I compromised at all. So I was really just really anxious to be first.
Well, you did a damn good job at that because you did take the first step forward. And when that bell rung, you took that step forward. You did see Paige make a sudden step backwards to maybe just to try to see, how your reach was, what your power was behind the punches. And you're sitting there going in round one and you were ready. And I'm not saying Paige wasn't, but you had been there before. You have been there, done that. Like you said, this is your home. You've been in bare knuckle for a couple years now. And I mean, like you said, that's your home. So when somebody invades, air quotes, invades your home, it's time to defend it. So that first round, the bell rings at the end of the first round. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. I'm feeling like, yeah, I got this, go in there and continue. She's obviously moving and running from you, be disciplined, don't rush, don't chase her. So I feel like this is, that was some of the flaws in my previous fights is that I'm so aggressive and chase my opponents that I don't cut the ring off very great. So I think that this was an excellent fight to reference that I've learned and kind of mastered the ability to cut the ring off. So that's really what I thought after the first round is just cut the ring off, Britt, and you'll be good. You're winning this.
Well, I mean, I think that you definitely won the first round. Now, we've heard that you've said she hits hard.
Right.
Compared to a Beck Rollins punch that you've taken or anybody else in bare knuckle or anybody else in your pro boxing career, where does her punch compare to everybody else that you fought?
Yeah, honestly, the only other, Alicia Baumgartner, she hits hard. So I definitely give her, the hardest hit as far as with like boxing gloves on. But at the same time, Alicia and Paige kind of have the same thing in common. And this is what a lot of people don't realize is that when I fight people, usually they're the same weight as me. But like if you can see watching the fight, Paige probably was a good 15, 20 pounds bigger than me when she rehydrated. I mean, I was walking in at 125. Yeah, she weighed in at 126, but I think that she honestly looked like she rehydrated about 10, 15 pounds. And if you kind of watch the comparison in the fight, she is just bigger built than me. Like she's got bigger arms, she's got bigger legs, she's got a bigger everything. So when I'm getting hit by that, it just feels different because she has that 15, 20 pounds force that I'm not used to from fighting people that are more like true 125ers. So, she did hit hard and it did surprise me. Again, it kind of goes back to when I have to jump weight to fight with the more competitive females. That's always an obstacle I'm going against and need to be ready for. But she was definitely the hardest hitting one, being that she was probably a tad bit bigger than me.
Just a little bit, right?
Right.
So we're moving into the third, the fourth round. You can kind of feel the desperation out of the Van Zant corner being like, okay, you're either down 2-1 or 3-0 at this point. And that's when, as a fan and as somebody that's watching the fight, you can kind of tell that desperation came out because in the fourth round, she did start to kind of be more aggressive and more active towards you instead of kind of sidestepping. It was looking like she was kind of coming at you more often than she did in the previous 3 rounds.
Right.
Could you feel the difference in the momentum at all? Not necessarily momentum, but feel the aggressiveness from her?
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that she was thinking that I was not a great boxer. And I think that she was thinking she could outbox me. But really, what they don't know is I fought the best of the best. So I already have that experience. So when she tried to outbox me, she was like, oh, shit, this isn't working because I am a good boxer. I'm a really good boxer. And so she couldn't outbox me. So she's thinking that I'm, this crazy brawler. And I think once she decided that she can't outbox me, that she's going to kind of brawl with me. I think that she definitely found more success with that, which, that's advice that you would give to anybody who's a good box. When you find a good boxer, you out brawl a good boxer. And when you find a good brawler, you outbox them. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just what makes me so dangerous and such a threat, is because I can do both. And a lot of people think they can outbox me. But I think that when she tried to outbrawl me, she, kind of was having more success, which was crazy, because I think that I was preparing for that the whole entire camp, because
Mm-hmm.
people were like, oh, she's going to dirty box you and clinch. But I think that I still won all the clinches. I really think even when she turned it up, I think when she turned it up, I was still beating her in the clinches. So it just kind of looked like she was doing better, in my opinion, because she was really finding little to no success outboxing me. And when she brawled me, I still feel like I won all those, but it just looked better for her because she was actually doing something.
Right, and I agree with that. Now, kind of going back to our conversation previously, excuse me. When you're talking about brawling versus boxing, in boxing with the gloves on, you could do a little bit more of brawling wildly, I guess, because you do have those boxing gloves on, and you can block a little bit more because of those gloves. Now in bare knuckle, it's a little different, in my opinion. Never been in one, been hit several times with bare knuckles, just never been legal in a ring like this. But um, you mentioned boxing and brawling, and they're two different things, and I totally agree with that. And some people may not know the difference, but if you are a fan of the sport, regardless of what combat sport it is, there is a difference between boxing and brawling. In bare knuckle, when you're throwing wild outside punches, like we did see from Van Zant, not necessarily as much as you, because I mean, let's face it. 9 minutes into a fight, regardless of who it is, you're getting a little winded, and everybody is, and your arms are getting a little, heavier every minute going on. When you're
Yeah.
throwing those punches, when you're seeing an outside punch come out like this, your first reaction, in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to step straight forward into that inside of that person that you're fighting.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And you did an amazing job of that. You, like you said, you were cutting off her angles. You are forcing her to be in your pocket, per se, and where you wanted her. I can't say anything more, but then, hey, like I said, I respect Paige Van Zandt as a fighter, but you whooped that ass, girl. Congratulations.
Right. Thank you. And she was, she was a hard, a lot of people are like, they don't think Paige Van Zandt's shit, and they're like, oh, her career was already over. And I feel like people should give her, like, she was training at a top gym. She was, was a lot of pressure for her. No one's going to go onto a show and not give their best. So she was really giving her best, and she was a really skilled, talented fighter. It's just, I've been boxing longer, so when people try to outbox me, it doesn't work the way they think. And then again, I'm that natural brawler, and people if they don't take me serious, they don't find that out, they're going to be pleasantly surprised. But she did take an extremely hard opponent. So, and what people don't know about me is I've been working really like overtime this past year to get where I am. So it was definitely well deserved. So she is a good fighter, and I think that she'll give a lot of people some real problems in BKFC. But for me, again, I'm just planning to take over and be the top no matter what or who's in front of me. So it was nice to kind of have that feeling. But with her, I felt like it was kind of dominating performance, and I really appreciate, like, I think after the fight, I think that she noted that and said that it wasn't as close as what people thought, because of how the exchanges were.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so the fight's over. Your hand is raised. You are crowned the winner. What type of conversation did you have with Paige inside that ring or afterwards? Because we all seen, in any time, it is a matter of respect for two warriors to sit there and bang for 5 straight rounds, regardless. We saw the hug at the end. What was said between you guys at the end of the fight?
Right. Well, I think you can hear, she's like, stay humble, stay humble. So I'm sure she didn't want me to go crazy on her, thinking like, especially from the weigh-ins or anything like that. But I wish, again, I told her in the weigh-ins and in the press conferences, I just really wanted the respect from her and her to know my name, and to learn that lesson, basically, that when you say you can beat someone on your worst day, that's absolutely not true, because on your best day you can be beaten too. So
Mhm.
you just really got to keep that in mind. And anyways, but she told me be humble, because I'm sure she sensed some kind of like edginess with that. But I told her that she did really good, and I hope she sticks with it, that it was a tough fight, and that she just didn't realize who I was, and now she does, and she knows that I really am a contender to reckon with. Like, I'm really one of those people that is really good. Like, when they asked her about the rematch, she's like, man, I got to earn that, because she was in there with me and knows how hard and how difficult it was. For her being 100% fully prepared, yeah, the only thing she lacked was she didn't have the experience. But now, even with the experience, she knows that she still knows that she's not going to beat me, even with having that experience, because I was really tough and did a lot of good things inside that ring with her, and she did too. So the fact that she realizes that. But anyways, I just told her that I want her to stay with it and don't quit. Even though she's not going to beat me, there's definitely other fights to be made in BKFC.
Well, let's be honest, Britt. Your next fight is not going to be a rematch with Paige Van Zant, because I am fully supporting another rematch that I think the world needs to see, and that is a title fight between you and Beck Rollins. Is this in the talks yet? Because I definitely think it should be.
I'm sure it is. I think that she's still like messing around with Bellator, and I think she's doing some things. But man, if that's a rematch, I would want it. 100%. I feel like I'm way better than when I fought her, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
I think she's done growing. I think Beck Rawlings is just Beck Rawlings. I think you can kind of expect the same thing from her every fight, and she's a good fighter, but she's very predictable in a lot of aspects. So I think with me, I'm still transforming, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous to fight. And I think that, going into it, I have this really strong fire burning in me where I want to right all my wrongs. And that's one wrong I wish I could go back and fix. And I know that I can. So if that is on the table, I would jump on it.
Well, let's just say that I, as a fan, and I, who supports you, I definitely want to see that. Now, if something happens to where Beck Rollins is not coming back for a while, because I honestly do not see another fight, the next fight in your career, being without a title in contention for it. That's where I think the BKFC needs to do with you, is give you that title shot, whether it be getting Beck Rollins in for a rematch for it, or making her just kind of give it up because she's in Bellator and doing other things right now. So we'll see. Hopefully that goes in your favor, and I can't wait to get you back on to announce that as soon as your next announcement comes. So
Yeah.
now we're not going to do rapid knockout today. Okay, we're going to do something else. You're gonna help me talk. Have you watched? Do you still watch UFC and mixed martial arts at all, or in boxing, or are you strictly I watch and I play everything BKFC?
No, I mean, I've been more BKFC here lately for sure, but I still keep up with boxing and MMA.
Okay, so instead of the rapid knockout where we talk about your favorite foods and stuff, we're gonna break down the couple fights coming up tomorrow night. So
Awesome.
we got now. Are you familiar with Richard Comey and Joseph Diaz Jr.? I know that Richard Comey and who is it? Jackson Martinez actually got moved up to the main event tomorrow because Joe Smith Jr. and Maxim Vlasov were canceled due to COVID. Do you have
Oh.
any insight on the Comey and Martinez matchup?
No, honestly, I don't. I haven't really been following that one particular, and they weren't
Okay.
really somebody that I don't know why I wasn't excited as much as everybody else is about that matchup.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I put you totally on the spot. So there is no problem with you not having a good opinion, bad opinion, or whatever on any of these matchups. There is another one. Are you familiar with Diaz?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So he, where'd my note go? Sorry about that. I had it. He is, yeah, he's fighting tomorrow night too for the 130-pound belt, and I lost my notes. So do you think? Let's just go with it. Do you think Diaz is going to lose that belt anytime soon?
No, I think he's one of those like, has something something that you can't really train and teach and prepare for. So, I mean, I always kind of like those people deep down because they're just like anyone that defies like the stereotypes or the different or the normal. I kind of like them, and flock to them a little bit more. But I don't think that he is. I think he's definitely one of those it factors going into fighting it and having something inside them that you can't replicate.
So do you think he picked a good route instead of baseball?
Yeah, for sure. That's how it's
Baseball may
funny because
not.
I can relate. I can relate because I was so good at soccer, so I wanted to play soccer. So it's like crazy that I'm not on a professional soccer team and I stuck to boxing and fighting and now bare knuckle.
It's funny. I didn't know that about soccer with you until I watched the Road to Knucklemania, the documentary that you guys were doing leading up to Knucklemania. Excuse me. Woo. My daughter took me out to breakfast. I got eggs, I guess.
No,
Whew. Yeah. So
you're
the
okay,
Road to
but yes, I
Knucklemania, you're
play
talking about
soccer.
that, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
was a
you're
really
pretty
good
good.
soccer player.
Yeah, that's what your friend that you work with down there was saying on the documentary. She was surprised that you didn't go further in that.
Yep, I know. I played when I went to Lynchburg College. I played there, and I had this like super iconic goal against I think it was like JMU, and it was like the coolest goal I've ever scored in my life. It was definitely one of those movie moments. But I thought right then and there, soccer was it for me. But little did I know.
Things change.
Yeah, no, it's in the stars now.
Yes, you're not going anywhere, and you better not, because we as fans definitely want to continue seeing you fight.
Oh, you have trust me, this is not the last. We were in the gym yesterday joking around. I was like, you know what? Because they were like saying, you don't need to, people like, you don't need to fight at bare knuckle. How many more do you really have in you? And I'm like, honestly, I could have $1 million right now and like the nicest house, the nicest car. And you know what I would still want to do and what I would like be hurt and brokenhearted if I couldn't? Is train for a fight. Like it's just something in the training and preparing for a fight. That's like the greatest feeling of all time. So even if I had like, tons of money, I would still fight. So right now I'm like, when am I going to fight again? I'm really anxious to like find out what I'm going to do or who I'm going to fight for the belt. When is that going to happen? So I'm definitely ready to train and be back in the gym and just make 2021 like insane.
So is 4.0 going to like 18.0 now?
So my plan with 4.0 is to go to 10. So I
Okay.
feel like in my life, in my career, I want to grow till 10. And when I'm Hart 10.0, that's going to be like my retirement fight. I'm going to retire from fighting as a 10 and I have gone through all those versions. So it kind of will be sentimental. So that's what I'm working for. I'm not working like, hey, I have 5 more years in boxing or 2 more years in BKFC. I'm just going to be like, hey, I got 10 versions of myself moving forward in this fight. Once I get to the 10th version, that's good enough for me. That means I reached what I wanted to do in my career and I'm done. So I still got a
Well,
lot of ways. I'm not even halfway there.
I was going to say, hopefully, I'm selfish fan at speaking on this. Hopefully, it's not 6 more fights and that's it. 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. Hopefully, we get to see a lot more Bret and Hart coming up.
Yeah, I think 4.0 is going to stay around for a while. I think 4.0 is doing pretty good. So, just building on that. So there's no need for me to really transform. I think I'm on the same page. And as we move up higher levels and stuff like that, and I get belts and I change as a fighter, I kind of have to earn that number change. So I'm sure after I get like I earned 4.0. So I think after I get like the title or something like that, then I'll change to 5.0. But I got to get a title first.
Well, that's coming. Like I said, it better be next. Now, all right, so we're going to flip over to UFC. UFC 258 tomorrow night, Usman versus Burns. Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns. To me, I'm a little skeptical on this matchup, honestly. I don't know who else you would have really put in at this time, but to me, Usman sitting at 17-1 and with a 5-inch reach advantage over Burns. I just don't see Usman getting beat this one. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I kind of go with the person with the longer reach in close ones like that, because it's kind of like they don't have an excuse to not, they're the taller fighter. If they're equal in skill and talent, if they can't use that reach to their advantage, then they maybe didn't deserve to win, because it's kind of like a thing being, more strategic and showing that you can be disciplined and use that reach to your advantage when you have it.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I could say is Usman potentially anybody, any given night, like you said, could lose a fight. Anything can happen. All it takes is that one button hitter. But the ground game for Burns may be a small advantage over Usman, but he's got to get him there first. So, and that's the difference in between mixed martial arts and boxing in general, but bare knuckle boxing, because there is none of that worries about the kicks and elbows and going to the ground and all that. But so, I'm gonna lean towards Usman. I'm gonna go with you because you're smart, and I'm gonna go off against smart people. So yeah.
Awesome. That sounds good. Good
All
pick.
right. Good deal. I like that. All right, Britton, it has been a fantastic time having you back on here at Combat Zone. What do you have to say to your fans, and who do you want to give some shout outs to? The floor is yours, dear.
Awesome. Well, definitely shout out to you for reaching out and being so awesome and supportive. So really, just thank you again. I can't say it enough for how many times I need to say it. Is there's so many people that believed in me, supported me, showed me love, and this really is to them. And thank you for how much it's made me stronger and grow. I definitely had sponsors in this camp, in this main event, that believed in me. So Veteran Farms, Royal Kratom, Hit 5, Fusion CBD products, Be Lit Organics, Richie L. Tuck and Son, Afton Service Center, um, Kevin Smith with Smith Brothers Combat Sports. I really, truly could have not had this camp be successful and recovered and repaired. And I really took minimal damage. So thank you guys so much for helping in that whole process. It was definitely a team thing. My gyms came together, my old home gym, Lux Boxing Gym, and my new home gym with Coach Haas and everybody at Knuckleheads. They were, definitely crucial to this transformation and crucial into making me who I am today. And of course, my friends and family back home and my two kids, Peyton and Paris, they definitely give me that fire to burn bright inside and keep at it. So again, I'm with my friend right now, Tasha, and I'm just so appreciative to have her, to come back to a families that really, really proud of you and do like this, like celebration things that they do. It means a lot to me. So thank you. I appreciate it. Look for Britton Hart in 2021 to be definitely. I've risen. I'm here to rise. I'm here to fight for that place at the top and for that title, and definitely look for exciting things to come.
Well, Britton, thank you again for your time and the opportunity to speak with you. I love having you on the show. I love watching you grow. I love seeing your hand raised in that main event fight. And do I see a happy birthday thing behind you? Is it a birthday?
I know. Isn't that crazy? Well, so that's why she did it. So it kind of was just a whole great moment altogether, because my birthday was February 2nd. So that was my birthday. So I was in a plane flying all day for the second, which I'm not complaining because I was with my coach and we had Banana Foster. So it was great. But then the fight was the 5th. So it's like, congratulations for winning this awesome fight. And then Valentine's Day is this weekend. So it's just all three great occasions to just feel love. And so we're celebrating all three of them today.
Well, again, thank you. Congratulations. And we will have to talk about that quote unquote feeling next week on Quantum Inspirations with Monica P. I thank you for coming on with her, because I know you two will be awesome together, and we could tell the world what you meant. And that's why I stayed off of it, folks. That's why I stayed off of it, because I cannot wait to have these two wonderful women together on the same show, talking and explaining about what you meant when you said you're a feeling, because I understood it. She understood it after I showed it to her, and I can't wait for you to make the world understand what you meant.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's definitely a whole conversation in itself, but it's definitely a good one, and it will make sense when people listen. So be excited. I can't wait for next week to do that. And for everybody else, definitely make sure you stay tuned for it, because it's a good one.
Love it. Britton Hart, folks. That's right. 4.0 going strong into 2021. Thank you again, Britton. We will talk to you later. And as always, Combat Zone is where you get your combat news. And we are out for the night. We will see you next week, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Friday night. Britton, have a wonderful day. We will see you next week, dear.
All right. See ya. You guys have an awesome weekend.
Thank you. You as well. Peace.